Pileggi, and this is Paul Nixon, and you're watching another episode of Say It Loud.
So, D, Kanye West has been in the news. He was at the White House today, and he was on SNL this past weekend.
It was a hard one for you.
That was tough.
Yeah.
That was challenging. But doing this thing on SNL this weekend. So what are your thoughts on what he's been doing and kind of what he's done, I guess?
Kanye West is iconic for his music. I have not been privy to most of it. I think I stopped listening after his first album or his first track. But one of the things I try to keep in the forefront of my mind when I'm talking about him is the fact that he's admitted to having mental illness. That's one thing. And the second is that he's ill-informed, and he makes that known by talking about how he doesn't read books, and that the sources of his information really are himself and himself and himself. And so, you know, when you are your only source of information, then you're prone to ignorance.
Right.
It is what it is. Like, I don't take what he says seriously, and I scoff at the people that really are insulted by him. It's almost like listening to, you know, my 8-year-old rattle on about things he has no knowledge of. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
What about you?
It's disturbing to me. I was a Kanye West fan for a long time. I'm a huge hip hop fan even to this day. And Kanye's first 3 albums, maybe 4. First 3 albums, I'm gonna say, were 3 of the best albums in hip hop history. Like,
oh yeah,
it might have even been. Did we talk about this last week?
No, but you talk about Eminem, and you just got all these. They're always the best and the greatest.
No. Eminem was the best for 2 years. Kanye's first 3 albums. I'll say it this way: Kanye's first 3 albums might be the best first 3 albums of anybody's career.
Okay,
I think that's safe to say.
Cool.
At least it's in the conversation. I'll say
Okay.
that. So anyway, with that in mind, it's disturbing to me because the music is really good, and he's obviously got a gift for that particular thing. But like you say, outside of that, it seems like he doesn't know how to navigate life, you know, outside of the studio. And the problem with that is we in this country, we tend to worship our rich and famous people.
Yeah.
And he is very rich and very famous. So people follow him and listen to him, even though he admits to being ignorant. And
because we equate like riches and success with knowledge, and they don't necessarily correlate. You know what I mean? It's nice that if you're rich and you are successful, that you have access to all the knowledge that everybody has and more. You have access to opportunities that we don't have as normal people. And Kanye has purposely bypassed those things as if they were not legitimate or not worth his time. So now listening to him rattle on, although he does have a message. So this is the one point I know from SNL that everybody tried to appreciate, and that is the fact that he wants us to not be so partisan. He doesn't want black culture to be like a monolithic thing. He wants us to be able to have dissenting voices and still be black and accepted. So if I believe that Trump is a good president, which is insane for me to even conceptualize as a black person, I should be able to say that and be safe and not ostracized by my community. I get it, Kanye, but like you can say that without wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat, you know?
Right.
I don't know. It's just me.
So are you saying that you agree? Well, not you agree, but you defend his right to make that statement? Or are you saying you agree with the statement itself?
I agree with the statement itself and the sentiment. I agree with the idea completely. And it sounds bad that I'm saying he shouldn't do that while wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat, because I'm kind of contradicting myself. It's just that I just dislike Trump that much, and I don't like anything that's associated with him. But, you know, and it hurts for me to see how much Trump despises people that aren't like him. And I mean, people who are poor and white, people who are black and rich, it doesn't matter. Just people who aren't like him. And for Kanye to completely ignore that and try to tout, economic boosts and his few successes, it's just beyond me. I mean, I just don't see how his blackness isn't so firmly attached to his identity as it is, as mine is to me. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That's the thing that's kind of extra baffling for me too, because Kanye didn't grow up rich. You know,
yeah,
Kanye
that's true.
He grew up, you know, in Chicago,
You know, I never thought about that.
Yeah, he doesn't come from money.
Yeah, like Khloe and the Kardashians, his wife.
Yeah, they came from money, but Kanye
yeah.
did not come from money. So I don't know where this perspective came from. It kind of it smacks of Ben Carson a little bit. Of course, he's way more influential than Ben Carson.
Yeah.
But Ben Carson, same idea. You know, he grew up poor, and you read his book, and he's talking about how poor he was and all this kind of stuff, and now he's just completely flipped it, like acting like everybody needs to go get a job, and that's the answer to the question. I'm like, dude,
like he bootstrapped. He really believes that he like bootstrapped. So like, if you listen to Ben Carson really believes like this is all because of me. I have done everything. Look at Babylon I have built, and you should build your own Babylon. It's insane to me that, you know, when you read Gifted Hands, it doesn't sound anything like who this man is. Like, how did you even get here? Do you think it has something to do, both, I guess, Ben Carson and Kanye West, with the atmosphere that they've placed themselves in once they achieve their success?
But I think so. You know, I think we're obviously influenced by our surroundings, and if you're around people who come from money.
But they specifically place themselves around non-black people with money.
Right.
Like both of them.
Right.
Kind of Ben Carson just as a result of what he does. He's a neurosurgeon, and there aren't a slew of black neurosurgeons, of course. But his community, his colleagues are all white. And Kanye purposely put himself in a place where he would be surrounded by his white in-laws. You know, he has no mother right now. You know, like, do you think that the familial kind of, you know, the people around them have influenced them to where they've kind of forsaken some of their Negro values?
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. That might be the case. I don't want to put too much conjecture into why they do what they do.
Yeah, I know.
Because I don't want to.
Even though that's what we do on this show.
It is what we do. That's kind of the reason we're talking right now. But that might be what, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, bro. I want to believe that there's some reason that they are the way that they are.
Well, I think insanity is a reason. You know?
Yeah, but
crazy.
Is Ben Carson insane though?
Have you heard him talk?
He's sleepy.
Okay.
He sounds like he's very sleepy all the time.
Maybe we can attribute it to, at least in part, to just the money factor of it. I mean, they both make a lot of money.
Yeah,
and a lot of influence, and then that kind of thing can change your disposition.
Yeah, but then I think about like LeBron James, and he has way more money than both of them.
James.
Actually, I don't know what their net worths are, but
LeBron James, he's got more money than Ben Carson for sure. I don't know if he has more money than Kanye,
true.
But LeBron James has intentionally not removed himself from that surrounding. You know what I mean? He doesn't live in the ghetto anymore, but he's still very much involved in. You know.
And I don't know much about Ben Carson's wife. Like, I know she's super smart.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that, and that she has Ivy League background, and she has like speaks several languages and plays all kinds of instruments. She's an accomplished woman, but even with that, I'm not sure whether or not she identifies with blackness more than she does with affluence. You know, I don't know if she came from money. I guess it would be good for me to learn a little bit more about her. But I definitely know that LeBron has a Negro wife.
Yeah.
And Kanye does not have a Negro wife. And I think that the things that go on in the home, even when we're adults, shape us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he could be going through some identity issues. You know, I'm trying to be empathetic.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I don't follow famous people. I don't remember if he made his album that turned me off from Kanye before or after he got married to Kim Kardashian. The album he made that turned me off was called Yeezus.
Yeah.
And when they announced the album, I deleted all my Kanye West music off my computer.
Yeah,
I was like, if
I
gotta pick a side,
yeah,
I need to
like
be clear
if it's
whose
gonna
side
be
I'm on. You know
my
I mean?
savior or
Yeah.
you, like the beats are fresh, but then
I need that to be very clear. So I deleted my Kanye at that point. But the Yeezus thing was like a moment for me. It was like, this dude is actually kind of turning a corner. But I don't know if he had already married Kim at that point. To speaking to your point about the marriage being a factor in this changing, I'm not sure.
I feel comfortable blaming her a little bit.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't.
You might be able to get away with that. I don't know.
Yeah, let's try it.
I've heard things about Kim too. We don't have time to talk about it, but you know.
And,
I have a question before we wrap up.
Okay.
What's your pet peeve? Just
in general?
Tell me one of your pet peeves.
That's a lot of pressure, bro.
I know.
Oh, I have so many.
Pick one.
There's too many. I don't know.
You can't pick
There's
one.
too much pressure.
Too much pressure. I'll let you get on the next episode.
Yeah, ask me on the next
You'll
episode.
be ready for one.
Thank you for watching. Say
it
it loud.
loud.